So what is this administration left with? They've got a senile old president who cannot string together 3 sentences. They have a bunch of bad policy. So what they're now focusing it on is the trans kids. Okay, now let's be real about this. There are people with gender dysphoria. They are a minute percentage of the population. Then there are all the young kids whose parents are massaging them into identifying as gender non-binary and trans. Okay, the vast majority of kids who suffer from gender dysphoria, actual diagnosed gender dysphoria, end up growing out of it. Somewhere between 70 and 90% by all available studies. Now you have mass numbers of young kids who are basically being Munchausen syndrome by proxy into believing that they're members of the opposite sex. And we're supposed to believe that we have to indoctrinate all kids from kindergarten on with the idea that they could be a member of the opposite sex. And if you don't go along with this, it's because you're very bad. This is the White House pushing this. So Jen Psaki yesterday, she broke down in tears over the idea that you shouldn't be indoctrinating 6-year-olds with the idea they can be a member of the opposite sex. Here is Jen Psaki crying over this. I mean, forget about the killing of 1 million unborn children in the United States every year. Forget about all that. She's crying over the fact that these public school teachers, they can't come out as trans pansexuals to their 6-year-old students. She's crying over the fact that your small child cannot be indoctrinated by a bunch of woke leftists. I mean, that is worthy of her tears. It's also upsetting. Here's Jen Psaki.
This is a political wedge issue and an attempt to win a culture war. And they're doing that in a way that is harsh and cruel to a community of kids, especially. I'm like going to get emotional about this issue because it's horrible. But you know, it's like kids who are bullied, and like all these leaders are taking steps to hurt them and hurt their lives and hurt their families. And you look at some of these laws in these states, and it is going after parents who are in loving relationships who have kids. It's completely outrageous.
Okay, she's going to have to explain how bullying is now enabled by us not indoctrinating. You know what the kind of bullying that I'm worried about is? Adults telling kids that they can be members of the opposite sex. That's the kind of bullying that I'm afraid of. And I'm also afraid of governmental sponsorship of this and the White House telling people in states that they must be forced to gender transition their kids, which, by the way, is what this administration would like. If this administration had its way, what they would like is that if you had a child who said, a 5-year-old who said, I'm gender confused, that child should go to school. The teachers would not tell you. The teachers would, quote unquote, socially transition the kids. And then, as soon as humanly possible, we'd start giving the kids puberty blockers without parental consent. That is what this White House would like if they had their way. But you're the bully for saying no to that. You're the bully. And here's the thing. All of this is rooted in garbage science. It is rooted in a peculiar unwillingness to look directly in the face the dangers of puberty blockers and the true dangers of gender, quote unquote, transition. Well, there may be a lot of real reasons to cry in life, but you shouldn't be crying over your t-shirt. There's already a lot on our minds. The last thing we want to be spending too much energy on is what to wear. Cuts Clothing has perfected the art and science of men's shirts, so you can throw one on and look great without ever thinking twice about it. By the way, this is exactly what I do. Basically, I just go to my closet, I pick out a Cuts shirt on any given day, and I put it on. That's how I get dressed. Every Cuts shirt is designed for a modern, tailored fit. They're insanely comfortable. They're literally the only t-shirts I wear. Plus, Cuts has all the essentials for looking sharp. Tees, hoodies, polos, and more. You can stop bouncing between brands to shop 4 different shirts. I wear polos every time I go golfing. I'm wearing Cuts tees pretty much everywhere, including into the office. It's really comfortable stuff. It fits fantastic. You actually don't think about how well t-shirts fit until you wear a Cuts t-shirt, and then you can't go back to anything else. Cuts has totally revolutionized the traditional outdated t-shirt category. They make it easy to mix and match styles and colors so you can find the perfect style. Long sleeve Henley, they've got it. Short sleeve crew neck, they've got that too. They even developed their own fabric that stands the test of time. It doesn't shrink, pill, or fade over time in the wash. It is insanely soft. Again, I've been throwing these Cuts t-shirts in the wash for months and months and months, and they just get better. Join hundreds of thousands of dudes who have made the simple decision to elevate their wardrobe with Cuts. Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/Shapiro. That's cutsclothing.com/Shapiro for 15% off, the only shirt worth wearing. This has now taken center stage with regard to Disney. So, Disney injected itself into this debate. The media bullied them, really. The media did the Taylor Swift silence is deafening routine, but with Disney. Disney has nothing. Disney is the biggest employer in Florida. Don't they have anything to say, anything at all, about the so-called don't say gay bill? And when I say so-called, I mean just the media calling it that for no reason. Don't they have anything to say? And Disney, because it's a cowardly company run by a bunch of pathetic, spineless, pusillanimous idiots went along with this. And they immediately start, well, we don't like that bill. That bill's really bad. And we're not going to donate to anybody who supports bills like that. We're going to get deeply involved in politics. Well, now Ron DeSantis has come out and he says, you know what? Fine. You want to play this game? You buy the ticket, you take the ride. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So now the state of Florida is moving to get rid of the special tax district in which Walt Disney World sits. Which, by the way, it's so funny. The left is so in favor of it. Like in California, if you're a publicly traded company, California's legislature attempts to set your board. Right? They say if you operate in California, you're headquartered in California, they will literally attempt to tell you how many trans people and black people and minority people have to be sitting on the board of your company. But if a company comes out and says we are going to deeply invest ourselves in politics, and they've been getting special tax breaks from the state, and the party they're attacking says, no more of this, that's really bad. You can't interfere with free enterprise that way. You can't. So what DeSantis is actually doing, he's getting rid of these tax districts for everyone in the state. Disney just happens to be the largest employer hit by this. Florida lawmakers could take up a bill that ends the special tax district this week. Losing the special district would be a blow to Disney's operations in Florida. The provision exempts the company from a host of regulations, saves it tens of millions of bucks every year. In recent weeks, DeSantis has clashed with Disney over the company's opposition to the Florida Parental Rights and Education Bill. Initially, Disney remained silent. Now, Disney representatives are not responding to requests for comment. So it turns out, again, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You decided to get involved in politics. You got clocked in the face with a political 2x4. Good. All you had to do was say, listen, we're not going to get involved in these issues. We will get involved in issues that directly impact our business in the state of Florida, like, for example, lobbying for a special tax district. But when it comes to bills like, should K through 3 students be indoctrinated with sexual orientation garbage? Then we're not going to have any comment. That's all you had to say. But you guys are cowards, and so you didn't. According to one of the sponsors, Republican Representative Randy Fine, he filed a bill under which any special district established prior to the ratification of the Florida Constitution in 1968, not renewed since then, would be dissolved June 1st, 2023. That would include that entire massive area covered by Disney World. You kick the hornet's nest and things come up, said Mr. Fine. That's the risk Disney took. Correct. This is correct. You don't get to dip your feet in politics and then not have the alligator bite it off here in the state of Florida. Now, Jared Polis, over in Colorado, he's attempting to take advantage. I love this. He says, Florida's authoritarian socialist attacks on the private sector are driving businesses away. Oh, are they? Really? Florida's economy is growing. People's feet are taking them to Florida. And I noticed that Walt Disney is not actually talking about relocating Disney World. You know why? It would cost too much money. Because they sunk a lot of resources in the state of Florida, and then they decided that they were going to get deeply involved in a political fight. There are consequences to that. And by the way, I don't trust Democrats or Jared Polis with the idea that they will remain apolitical. If their businesses are leaving California and they're going to Florida and Texas, that is where they're going. I took a business from California to Tennessee and Florida. But says Jared Polis, it's authoritarian socialism now to get rid of special tax districts for specialized companies, giving them special tax breaks. Interesting definition of authoritarian socialism. Also, he's very angry with Ron DeSantis because Ron DeSantis came out and he said that he is going to he's going to look into Twitter's board of directors. He said that because Twitter has basically been attempting to stop Elon Musk's takeover, and they're doing so on the basis of politics. So DeSantis said, we're going to try to hold Twitter accountable for breach of fiduciary duty. After all, people are being offered way more than the current stock price by Elon Musk. Here's Ron DeSantis yesterday.
The state of Florida and our pension system, we have shares of Twitter. I didn't buy it. We have people that run the fund. But nevertheless, it hasn't exactly been great in returns on investment. It's been pretty stagnant for many, many years. But nevertheless, I mean, to me, I think that that's probably an injury to the fund. So we're going to be looking at ways that the state of Florida potentially can be holding these Twitter board of directors accountable for breaching their fiduciary duty.
Again, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, gang. And listen, I'm all for free enterprise. I love free enterprise. I'm probably the most free enterprise person in the country. When you play these games, expect to get clocked. You don't get to become a force on behalf of the left and then expect people like me to stand in the way and protect you. Ain't gonna happen. We're in a battle for the culture and for our values. Like and subscribe to help keep our videos on the front line of the fight and top of your feed.